This is going to be my final video dealing with this whole Tonya TKO situation. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I made some videos regarding this Tonya TKO situation, and I was trying to help these Afro-American Negroes understand how they were being exploited and taken advantage of by this female. And these Afro-American Negroes, instead of being grateful for the help and advice I was trying to give them, these Negroes decided to attack me. And it's just really sad to see that, you cannot help many of these Afro American Negroes out here. Here we have your Tanya TKO, who says that she's homeless and living out of her car. And instead of her going out and trying to go look for work and showing that she's going to make an effort to help herself, she sets up a GoFundMe page. And she sits there and takes money from people instead of going out and using many of the tools and resources around her to find herself some employment. This is a woman who has her own business, decides, I'm going to go out and go all the way to California and go out here and then set up this GoFundMe page. She's not going to do what everybody else is going to do who sets out to go out to California, usually like your aspiring actors and all these other people. She decides she's going to go out here, set up a GoFundMe page, put up a whole bunch of list of cockamamie expenses that make absolutely no sense, because if you're supposed to be homeless and out of money, you think you would be planking a plan to find yourself some full-time work. But no, this woman puts up a list of cockamamie expenses. She wants first and last month's rent on an apartment. She wants to hire employees. She wants to pay for things like set pieces or things like that. And you go down the list, and it's just mind-bogglingly insane. But the Afro-American Negro, instead of, holding this woman accountable and pulling her to the carpet, this Afro-American Negro gives her a pass. Again, part of the covert contract I've talked about in numerous videos, that, especially with these Negro women, they'll give you a pass because they want a pass for their own behavior. Same thing with these simps and these Captain Save-Ems. They want a pass so they can go do their little dirty behavior behind the scenes. And I was pointing out in the first video all the numerous ways this female could have gotten herself some help. And instead, most people, instead of listening to what I was saying regarding solutions, they started to get personal instead. Instead of listening to the messenger and the message, they attack the messenger. And that's what these Afro-American Negroes do. And meanwhile, your Tanya TKO continues to, make light of a very, very troubling situation. Now, I worked with homeless adults way back in 2000 when I was working with the AmeriCorps Vista program at Strive. I went to homeless shelters here in New York, and I saw the conditions there. And to watch this woman talk about how she's living out of her car and sitting there with a smile on her face and playing all cute, that really aggravated me, because I understand how bad being homeless is. I have sat down with these homeless adults, talked to them, when I did presentations, talked to people in the homeless services community, and to see this woman making light of the situation really aggravated me, and that's what disgusted me the most about that, because I spent a year with AmeriCorps trying to help homeless people, trying to help people with this job readiness program, and I understood, how troubling a situation it was. And I myself, coming from my own unemployment situation for the last 7 years, know how hard it is to find work. And to watch this female take advantage of people was really, again, aggravating to me. Watching her go into a 99-cent store and make light of going in a 99-cent store, when I had to actually, when you go to those places, you're going there, it's life or death. And sometimes you having to go there is the only way you're going to have soap or toilet paper or the necessities that you're going to need to get through a day. Because I know what that is, because when I went through a first period of long-term unemployment after 9/11 happened, that was a hard period for me. And I mean, where I got a job for about 2 weeks, I thought I was going to go somewhere, then it fell off, and then I went into this depression. I know what that is. And a lot of people want to sit there and say, well, what does 9/11 have to do with it? When 9/11 happened, the job market here in the United States changed, because what happened after 9/11 was people started using email to get things through. They started using computers to get things through because many of the streets here in New York and Wall Street, that entire area was pretty much closed off for 2 to 3 weeks in many cases, and in many cases, even months. Many of those areas were closed off. So the only way you could do business was through email. So everything was done electronically, and that's what led to a revolution in the job market because a lot of businesses that people used to use and take it and they live comfortably with, like clericals, messengers, mail rooms, they didn't need those anymore. They had email. Email pretty much changed that. And as time passed, people started using their computers more often, and we no longer need people like administrative assistants and secretaries anymore because your Microsoft Office software has something called a calendar in it, in the Outlook. Also, when you have Apple computers, they have something called iCal. So people, instead of going to their administrative assistant to remind them of things, they go to their computers. And that's how 9/11 changed the job market, not only here in New York, but across the country. But you try to explain this to the Afro-American Negro, and they don't understand that. They'll sit there and try to make ad hominem attacks at you and try to attack you when you're trying to help them see how this female is taking advantage of you. They want to go and attack your situation when you're trying to explain how you made efforts to try to solve your problems and how you had a hard situation. And I have been unemployed again for 7 years this time, and I know how hard it is out here. And I was trying to use my situation to explain to these Negroes, you know, this is what she could do to make money for herself. She did not have to sit here and do a GoFundMe page. She is just doing this GoFundMe page so she can, you know, make money at the Negro's expense and take advantage of this Negro. But the Negro would rather be taken advantage of by a hustler than listen to a guy who is a businessman who understands how things are done, a guy who's been out of work and who understands how things have been done, and who's trying to apply constructive solutions to try to get out of a bad situation. No, these Negroes don't want to hear the solutions because, again, Negro does not want solutions. The Negro would rather try to attack people who are trying to help him because he doesn't want help. Again, these codependent Afro-American Negroes, for the most part, just want to play the shuck and jive, finger point, blame and shame game and give passes to your Tonya TKOs, give her a gateway to escape. And while they play this finger point game with Shawn James, she's sitting here pretty much getting away, having the grand old time of her life at their expense. Just like this Negro pastor has been having the grand old time at their expense for the last 100 years, using the exact same tactics. And then these same Negroes will sit here and say, I'm trying to get a come up off your Tonya TKO. I don't need to get a come up off your Tonya TKO. I'm happy, trying to build my own audience, create my own content. I don't need to get a come up off of a Tonya TKO. I have my own audience. I have my own, I've had my own audience for years. People who read my blog, www.shawnsjames.blogspot.com. People have been following me since 2007, 2008, when I was writing blogs. So I don't need a come up. I have over 1.5 million hits on my blog. So I look at people who say, oh, she has 100,000 subscribers. Well, I have over 1.5 million hits on my own blog. So I don't really need to have a come up on a Tonya TKO. And I have readers of that blog worldwide. People know who I am through my writing. People know who I am through the books that I have produced. And I am pretty much building my own audience on my own way. I don't need to do a come up. But when I look at her situation and how she's taking advantage of people, that again is what disgusted me. Again, when I did my fundraisers, I did them for business purposes. And I only came to the black community and the World Wide Web community because I, again, have been out of work for such a long time. And the only way for me to pay for these book covers, again, is with people's help. Because a lot of people were sitting here, they were complaining, saying, oh, these hand-drawn covers look bad. I don't like these hand-drawn covers. This is the reason why I don't want to buy the books. So I said, okay, I will go out here. I will use crowdfunding to go out here to try to find the money to pay for the book covers. I said, if you're complaining about the book covers and you say this is the reason why you don't want to buy the books, then here's the crowdfunding. You give me $5, you give me $10, you give me $25, $100. I will give you a book with the new cover on it in exchange for that. That's an even exchange. This female sets up the GoFundMe, comes up with a cockamamie list, and you get nothing for it, and you get no accountability. With me, I can itemize every purchase I have made, and I had to do that for the last Kickstarter I did in 2015 for those 2 books that I showed people. And I have the receipts and the documentation to show people, what I spent that money on. The money was pretty much, all of it was spent on book expenses. This female, does not have it. Comes up with a bunch of expenses with no, real setup, and these Negroes pretty much go with it. But this is the part for the course. This is the same group of Negroes who will sit there and take advice from someone like Steve Harvey. And that, again, is mind-boggling to me. Here's a man who has no medical degrees, no degrees in psychotherapy, yet the Afro-American Negroes go to Steve Harvey for advice. Just shows you how backwards these Afro-American Negroes are. And these Negroes will sit there and say, I'm jealous of a Tonya TKO. I have nothing to be jealous of. I'm pretty much comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with the way I do things. I don't need her for a come up. I'm building my own audience as we speak. I don't need her. I just wanted to make a point about how these Negroes were being pimped. But the Negro, again, does not want to hear anyone trying to present him with facts, logic, reason. When you present him with these things, they go into these histrionics, name-calling, shaming tactics. And this is just sad because these people, I've read the comment section, they're going into these name-calling, they're getting really personal, and they're sitting there talking about my unemployment situation, getting really nasty, and all because they disagree with me presenting my points regarding her and trying to present a positive and constructive solution to these Afro-American Negroes. Just trying to present them with a solution. And they sit there and want to go into name-calling, getting personal. Oh, I had one person say that I would never work again and I should just give up. I mean, this is just some nasty, nasty stuff. And most of it, a lot of it coming from Afro-American Negro women. Just getting really nasty. There's no place for that. I mean, I'm trying to help you so that you won't get taken advantage of and you attack me. And that's just really what's truly sad about you Negroes. The people who you're trying to help you're against, and the people who are kicking you, you're for. But it shows me the codependent nature of these Afro-American Negroes. The whole thing with your Afro-American Negroes, they're just like a battered wife. The more you slap them, the more they love you, and the more you treat them with respect, the more they hate you.